The thing I love about big turns is that leap of faith moment when you move into the next turn and you hope that you got everything right. Because if you did, you get rewarded, and if you didn't, well, I generally boot out. So what I really struggle with in my big turns is an apprehension to stand on my right leg. That apprehension means that I actually try to preempt where my body and my travel is going to go. So I end up moving forwards and into the turn too much. So I end up way ahead of my feet. And so if I'm traveling in front of my foot, inevitably what happens is you lose control of the outside ski. And so I found that everything exciting about a big turn suddenly seems to disappear when that happens. I lose control of the direction, I lose control of the edge, I lose control of just the stability of it. So the way I'm trying to fix this is to relax my old outside leg. Ultimately, I want to divorce myself from that turn, so I'm just going to relax it and allow my feet to come up towards me, which then creates a really nice flat ski in between the two turns. And once I feel that moment happen, and my hips are slightly behind my feet, but I still have contact with the front of the boot, and then that's my cue to just let my body fall into the next turn. So that's the leap of faith moment that I was talking about. The faith that I feel like I've got it right, so I'm going to let my body fall. So when I get this right, I get the feeling that the mountain moves me across the hill, that the slope and the snow is pushing against me, rather than me trying to push into the ski and into the mountain. I always feel that I'm never going to win that battle, so I'd rather work with the mountain to get it to move me across the hill, rather than the other way around. So when I'm successful, that direction change I can feel happen earlier. I have more speed across the hill, I'm turning in a lower radius than my skis are, and it ends up feeling a lot more fluid. The whole thing feels a lot more relaxed because I'm allowing my upper body to move into the new arc naturally and organically, rather than me trying to move my upper body into the new turn. Because for me that was a detriment, and what that was doing was putting me ahead of my feet. So ultimately what I want to be able to do in my big turns is just to be as efficient as possible, is to not have any move in there that doesn't really belong. And so all moves that I do make in my big turns has some intent behind them. The mountain keeps you honest, and it'll tell you whether or not you're making the right moves. And so what I want to be able to do is to have a good relationship with the mountain, for it to tell me that I'm making the right moves because I'm getting the outcomes that I want.
What I like about big turns is she can go a lot faster than any type of skiing. You can also create a lot more angle and amplitude, which results to a lot more forces and a lot more deflection or upset across the slope. So I'm trying to do a few things when I do a big turn. First, I'm trying to stay in a corridor that is usually smaller than my radius of my ski, so I can really get that effect of moving across the slope purposely. I find myself often losing balance on my outside ski because I'm extending my outside leg, and that results on two things. First, I move my mass away from my outside support, and I move my base support from me. So it looks like my two tips are diverging from each other, creating a bit of a scissors. And I also find the ski slowing down and my mass moving forward. Right? So that creates in a higher speed and in a higher performance. Often I will fall and crash, and this is the unpleasant part of the big turns. So to get rid of those struggles, I need to make sure that my extension of the outside leg is a passive motion, and that my active motion is to bend the inside knee. And as a result of this, my center of mass will move inside the arc passively, organically, rather than actively me moving into the center of the arc. I'm having more struggle when the snow is soft than when it's hard. Probably because I don't let the ski edge gradually. I probably put them a little too quickly on edge, and that creates the ski to dig too much. It allows my ski to slow down rather than accelerate. And I really want to be able to have a gliding effect throughout my whole run in any type of snow.
What I like about Big Turn is definitely the speed, the freedom that it makes me feel, feeling my ski cut the snow, like really aggressively, I guess. That's really fun. And then, yeah, definitely the wind in my face. I struggle in big turns mostly with my discipline of the upper body. I tend to add some strong movement with my upper body to get inclination, so to get more angles at the start of the turn. But what it does in the end is just it put me out of balance for the rest of the turn. I end up on my inside ski and trying to catch that back with some like weird movement of rotation. So what happened is that to get more angle, to think that I get more angle, I let my upper body fall inside the turn, and my outside hand goes above my head. And then in the fall line, what happened is that I'm like, oh no, I'm all open and inside. So I kind of bring my outside end forward or like around to help me complete my turn. And it makes me like rotate, and I'm completely, like not completely, but I'm a lot on my inside ski. So I compromise technique for falls, like an unneeded movement. Yeah. I'm gonna fix this by focusing more on letting my leg incline, getting angles at the start of the turn, and then trying to focus on keeping my upper body more leveled with the ground and moving down the hill. I was looking at some videos of Sébastien Michel, and it's actually what I see. It's in the transition. He's using a momentum to move into the next turn, and it looks a little bit like when you do a box jump. So he's very disciplined here, but that doesn't mean that he doesn't use his upper body. It just what I see and what I understand of it is that I need to use my upper body, but in a more disciplined way instead of trying to throw myself there. And I was looking also at Alice Robinson, where instead of tipping her upper body inside the turn, she's actually moving towards the next apex, and she doesn't stand up and she doesn't rise up. She just really glided with the skis towards the next apex, and her legs get quite long and inclined. It's just not, she doesn't let her upper body fall too much. When I'm too free and I move too much, okay, what happens is that once in a while I'll fall on, like, inside the turn. Like, I'll be completely on my inside ski above my inside leg, and then I'll just like whoop, like fall inside the turn. If it's icy, that can put me in some spicy situation. Most of the time I can like catch it up, but I would just like my long turn to be more clean and then fast. Yeah, clean and fast. That's what I'm looking for.